Hey everybody, welcome back. We are going to talk about auto tracking with the Move 4K. So what we're going to do is go through every setting that we have with the Move 4K auto tracking, and we're going to show you all the various different settings and what that'll do for your auto tracking. We are joined in the studio with Jenna today as we're going to show off some auto tracking. Thank you, Jenna. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. So let's look right in the UI first. When you get your Move 4K and you're getting it set up, you're going to see this initial screen. You're going to see your preview. You're going to see the speed, image, and control tabs here. You're going to jump over to the control tab, and that's where you'll find the automation tab. This is going to show you all the different automation tools like auto tracking and auto framing. And then today we're going to focus specifically on auto tracking and all the various different modes and compositions and sensitivity, all these settings. So to get into it, let's first talk about the presenter lock mode. So presenter lock is exclusive on our PTZOptics PTZ cameras. This allows you to select a target, have options to select multiple targets, or even use a debug mode. So first, I want to show what it is to just initially turn on auto tracking and what that looks like without presenter lock on. So you'll go to the very bottom, you'll hit apply, it'll load, and then you'll see on the web interface in the UI there, it is applied and it's started auto tracking. So we're currently set up on a medium close up. It's zoomed in already, but Jenna, let's have you stand up and just do a quick little lap in the studio here and see it follow you. So you can currently see we're on a low sensitivity. So as she walks through the room, it's going to be not as fast as you would see if we jumped up the sensitivity a little bit. So thank you. We can have you hop back in the seat here. Alrighty. Thank you, Jenna. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to just turn off auto tracking so we can restart and I can show you exactly what other options we have. So we also have the option to select a target or multi-target select. So I'm going to go back and turn on auto tracking for select a target. This time I'm going to zoom out a little bit, but without dynamic zoom, you're not going to be able to do that, right? So the medium close up is on, so I'm not going to be able to zoom out or move. So as soon as you apply and enable that auto tracking, that's where you can go and select your target. And let's have you try getting up one more time, Jenna. All right, you can sit back down for us. And then I'm going to show off what it's like for multi-target select. So first, I'm going to make sure auto tracking's off. I'm going to zoom out so you can see me over here in the corner as well. And then with multi-target select, you'll see that there will now be an option to actually select who you want to auto track in the frame. Well, first I need to turn on auto tracking. And then once I hit apply, you'll see the bounded boxes appear. And this is where you can now go in and select your subject. So there's a couple different ways to do this. If you're in the web interface, you can click on the actual arrows to move for the PTZ controls, specifically the pan and tilt controls. So you can see the red box is who you're going to select. If you want to select Jenna, for instance, you can hit the home button, or you can actually even use the IR remote. So every PTZ camera comes with a little IR remote. You can switch between it if you point to the camera. You can switch between the subjects. As you can see there, is going between me and Jenna here. And then if you hit enter on the home button on the controller here, it'll also select your target. So you also see that there's a number above both Jenna and I. I'm 98. She's number 8. So these bounding boxes are going to create a unique number, and that number you can also select on the preset as well. So I see that Jenna is a preset number 8. So if I hit preset number 8, it's going to choose her as the subject I want to track. So there we go. One more time, Jenna, we'll do a quick loop around the studio here as now you are the selected subject. So you'll see inside the web interface, we are tracking Jenna and we have that bounding box around her. But if we show the raw footage of the tracking, you'll see that there is no bounding box. It makes sure that the whole environment removes that and that you have a clean video feed for auto tracking. All right, we can have you come sit back down and I will turn off auto tracking again. And then we can jump into some of our other settings here. So we were talking a little bit about sensitivity. So let's go in and let's try some other sensitivity options here. So to do that, we're going to move out of that medium close up and we're going to apply and we're going to go into more of a standard medium shot. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit already. I'm going to turn on auto tracking and we're going to have the select target on this time. So instead of low, because we've been tracking on low, we're going to try a medium sensitivity. So I'm going to start tracking. We're going to be locking on to Jenna here. And then you can get up and move around and we can see the medium shot on the medium sensitivity. So to take note here, we also have the options for horizontal composition as well as vertical composition. We're going to go over those very soon. But right now we are tracking Jenna in the center of the frame and her head is tracked in the center of the frame as well. You can adjust that if you want to show a full body as well. So you'll see it's a little more fine tuned with the sensitivity as it's tracking her now. And it's not as sudden of movements. So the closer your zoom is, obviously, the more sudden your movements will be when you're auto tracking. All right, we can have you come sit back down again, and then we're going to jump up to more sensitive tracking sensitivity here. So I'm going to turn the auto tracking off. And then I'm going to keep us on a medium shot for the zoom level, and I'm going to jump us up to the high auto tracking sensitivity. And auto tracking is on. You can see I can zoom because we're not using dynamic zoom, but we'll get to that soon. Jenna, let's have you do a quick loop again for me. Now we are on a medium shot with high sensitivity. So if Jenna does some more fast movements, we're going to be following her a little bit quicker than we would. Let's see if she can try to lose the camera. Wow. And the all-star sprinter, and we still can't lose her. She's too fast, but not fast enough for the Move 4K. Thank you, Jenna. That was great. Thank you so much. That's awesome. All right, we'll have you come sit back down again. So now that we're showing off high sensitivity, medium, and low, those are all of your various options for auto tracking. But you also have options for the zoom level. So dynamic zoom is what I was mentioning. We can go in and just try dynamic zoom since I was just talking about it. I'm going to keep all my settings the same, keep it on the select targets or lock on to Jenna. And then right next to me, I actually have a SuperJoy controller. So you can use this with other control options if you have this, but the SuperJoy is perfect for the dynamic zoom. So let's have you get up one more time, and I'm going to try to zoom a little bit tighter as you move around. So completely manual control when it comes to zoom, but I'm not worrying about the auto tracking or the panning and tilting, just the zoom. So I can zoom out and get a full big shot, or I can zoom in a little bit tighter as the automation is working. So this is perfect if you want a little bit more control, but also have that level of automation. So if you don't want to worry about, oh, do I want a medium close up or a wide shot? That's where that dynamic zoom mode comes in. Alrighty, you can sit back down for us again. I'll turn everything off again. And then let's show some of these other modes, and then we'll go into the compositions as well. So we already did medium and medium close up. So let's show off the long shot. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit into our frame here. I'm going to make sure auto tracking is on. Turn that on for me. Alrighty. So now we are currently on. We're locking in on Jenna. And it's going to be now set up for a long shot. All right. So we can have you get up one more time for us. I promise there won't be too many more of these. You're getting in your workout today. So now you're seeing she's still centered. Her head and her body is still a center of frame. Her head is still in the center due to that horizontal and vertical composition. But now it's a long shot. It's more of a full body picture that you're getting with the long shot mode for zoom levels. Alrighty, we can have you sit back down for us, and I'll turn the auto tracking off. So that's the long shot mode. Now, what a lot of people have always wanted from our cameras is the ability to have different compositions. So, first, we'll go over the horizontal composition. So, that's the left, center, and right of the frame. So, exactly where do you want Jenna to be located or auto tracked? And some use cases, you would use this for like a presentation, for instance. If you want slides, or maybe there's a picture in picture and you have someone else that you're bringing in remotely into your production, that's where you'll want to use this mode. So let's jump in. We've been tracking her in the center, but now let's try on the left side. We're going to go back to a medium shot instead. Make sure auto tracking is always on. And then here we have the select target. So I'm going to hit home for Jenna. It's going to keep her now in the left side of the frame. So even if she gets up and walks around, it's going to still auto track and follow her, but it's going to keep her specifically on that left side of the frame. So you see if she tried to push it over to the right of the frame, it's going to still move and adjust and keep her on the left. All right, so stand still for a second here. I'm going to turn off auto tracking and I'm going to switch it over to the right side so we can show exactly what that looks like now here as well. All righty, let me turn on auto tracking. And now we're going to be tracking on the right. So you can see the camera immediately switched over. And if she moves around now, it'll keep her in that right side of the frame. So you can even see me, even with distractions in the back, our auto tracking continuously works, continually tracks onto your selected subject. And that's the power of presenter lock. Awesome. All right, you can stay still again for me. And I'm going to turn off the auto tracking again. This time I'm going to bring you back to the center horizontal composition. And now we're going to focus on the vertical composition. So this is a feature people have always wanted, and we just added it to the new firmware on the Move 4K. So if you don't have this feature and you're saying, hey, my camera is not showing this, we'll update your camera, and you can do that under your settings in the web interface. So make sure you do that. But let's talk about vertical composition. So this is going to compose and frame Jenna however we need to. So either the top of the frame, the center, or the bottom. So you can see that she's got a lot of headroom because we've been tracking her in the center. But if we track her at the top of the frame, that means that when I turn on auto tracking, that her head is where we're going to be tracking it. It's going to be much higher than what you saw in the center composition. So now you can move around for us now, Jenna, and you can see that her head's more at the top of the frame now. She's being tracked in the center, and there's not as much headroom as you were seeing in the past. So look at that. Really, really great stuff. So auto tracking is always free. These updates are continuously added and we continuously improve and listen to your feedback. So if you have any other suggestions about auto tracking, we are always listening. But let's have you stop there one more time, Jenna, and then I will take you to the bottom of the frame. So this might be used if you want to maybe have a video playing above someone, but you want to track them still. Maybe if someone's on a stage and there's a big, video behind them or a video wall behind them. So now, Jenna, if you move around one more time, you can even see the painting in the background could be your video wall. And that's so you can have her still be in frame presenting while showing off the incredible artwork behind her. That's perfect. Alrighty. So let's do something else here. I'm going to change this back to a top. You can stand still for just a second here as I turn off auto tracking, and then I'm going to turn it back on. And then I want to get into something called tilt lock. So tilt lock is also a new setting. This allows your camera to tilt while you're auto tracking. So if I keep this on, it's going to lock it so that the camera won't tilt while it's auto tracking. But it's currently off. So what I would like you to do, Jenna, as soon as I turn this on and say go, I want you to just walk towards the camera. So the camera in the corner that's auto tracking you, as you walk, the camera will tilt down and it'll follow you even as you approach and get closer to the camera. So it's still going to keep you locked in. But there's people that don't always want that. Some people don't want the camera to tilt and to move up and down at all. So let's have you go back to your seat, and then we're going to have it so the camera will not tilt and lock onto you. Alrighty, so I'm going to turn off the auto tracking, and then I'm going to turn on the tilt lock, and then we can see what this looks like. Alrighty, so let's turn it back on. All right, now tilt lock is on, so the camera will not tilt up or down when auto tracking is enabled. It's enabled, so Jenna, let's have you do the same thing and walk slowly to the camera that's tracking you, and then right away you can see that it'll follow her left and right. All right, you can stay there, but you can see the camera's not going to tilt. But if she goes left or right now in the space, the camera will continuously follow her. So this is great if you have a stage, if your camera is tilted down at a certain angle and you don't want it to move. You don't want to showcase maybe the audience that's below the camera. So this is a great way to make sure that the camera is never tilting up or down if you don't want it to. Alrighty, I'm going to turn it off, and we're getting close to the end of all these awesome features, but there's a couple others, so we can have you come back and sit down. Let's talk about one of the last features here, which is time delay. So this is really straightforward. This is a delay on when auto tracking will be enabled. So I'm going to turn on auto tracking. I'm going to keep it on the select target. I'm going to actually turn off it automatically so that it just will enable and start tracking immediately. So to do that, I'm going to just zoom in on Jenna here a little bit. And then when I turn this on, it should start auto tracking immediately, or not immediately. It'll take 3 seconds before it'll do so. So we have it turned on. And after the 3 seconds, we can have Jenna stand up and start walking around again. And we have the ability to start auto tracking on a delayed period if you'd like. Alrighty. So we can have you sit back down again, and we can talk about the last couple of features here. Alrighty. So I'm going to turn everything off. And then there's two other things here. There's target loss, and then there's the start and stop tracking location. So that's pretty straightforward. When most people are using auto tracking, they want to turn it on and they just want it to start immediately to where their camera is positioned. Others might want to start it at a different location, say the home positioning or a preset location. So these are just exactly where you want to stop and start your auto tracking. So this will immediately call based on those presets or home or track now. So that will help you toggle on exactly where you want the automation to begin and end. Now, when it comes to target loss, this is exactly what happens after we lose a target from the frame. So it's pretty rare, as we've done in this whole demo. We've only lost Jenna maybe once throughout this entire demo. But say if you do, say if something happens, a bunch of people walk in front of her, or she walks off frame, there is a preset option that you can have it go back to. So let's set a preset 1. And let's say Jenna walks off frame, and as soon as she does that, I want it to cut back to me because I'm the main host, for instance. So I'm gonna go in and set preset 1 to me over here. And as soon as auto tracking, we lose the target, it'll cut back to that preset 1 already. So I'm gonna turn on auto tracking. All the settings are the same here. I'm gonna apply so auto tracking begins. Now, Jenna, I want you to stand up and just full speed sprint it out of the studio so we can hopefully lose the camera here. And I set it to about 3 seconds, so it should take 3 seconds. Go for it. All right, so we lost her. We count to about 3, and it should revert us right back here to me. So that will show you. We'll try that one more time, Jenna. We'll have you come back in. I'm going to turn it off now, and we'll do it one more time. That was impressive. Good sprints. I can tell you were a sprinter in college. Alrighty, so I'm going to move it back to you, Jenna, as we're going to start the auto tracking. Alrighty, so let's see you get up and get out of here as fast as you can. Make like a tree and leave, as they say. Oh, it almost caught you that time. So 1, 2, and 3 seconds on the target loss, and it's right back to me. Alrighty, guys, come back into frame, Jenna, as we say goodbye to everyone. Thanks for joining us all about the Move 4K's auto tracking features. If you have any questions, you can go to PTZOptics.com or you can reach out to me. I'm John.Roberts at PTZOptics. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you soon. Bye.